NFL takes us to the Valley of the Sun at State Farm Stadium here in Glendale. A moment ago, this Arizona crowd was on its feet. The defensive starters, led by perennial All-Pro Patrick Peterson, were introduced. Now they've got a tough one on their hands as they'll square off with the Denver Broncos. Happy to be on hand. I'm Brandon Gaudin with Charles Davis. And before we kick, partner, your keys to the game, please.
Well, my keys are on the defensive side of the ball for both teams. And the big one, making sure you avoid giving up the big play. These safeties are going to get tested all game long. Their job, keep the ball in front of them, tackle people, make them run extra plays in order to try and score.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. It'll be Case Keenum leading the charge, making his first start in a Bronco uniform here in this one.
And the 2018 draft, when the Broncos number came up at 5, plenty of chatter that they might take a quarterback right there. Remember, Josh Allen was still on the board. Josh Rosen was still on the board. But the Broncos made a commitment to Case Keenum in free agency, and they're living up to it. Did not take a quarterback in that slot. Going to ride with their new number 4, Case Keenum.
Keenum going to lead the Broncos out now 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. Swings it out to the flat for Freeman. He'll be dropped at the 30. A shifty move got him a couple extra on the play. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll be a 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. And on the ground they go with a running back. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco 1st down. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
On 1st and 10, Keenum. And that's complete to the tight end, Hireman. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
So they had the big loss on that 1st down pass play. And facing a 2nd and long. They'll run it now out of the gun. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain there, and it brings forth a 3rd and long. And let's look quickly here at the Denver offense.
Let's focus outside on Demaryius Thomas. His numbers were down slightly last year. First time in the last 5 years he didn't top 1,000 yards. This guy's been to 5 Pro Bowls. And when I think about the evolution of his career, from his time at Georgia Tech where they were running an option offense and he didn't catch much more than bombs, to now being a complete receiver, no reason in my mind to think he won't be over 1,000 yards again in the future.
3rd and long. It's Keenum. Pressure comes, and the Cardinals bring him down. Marcus Golden in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down. Well, they went with the nickel. They throw in an extra defensive back. Coverage was very good.
Yeah, it was exactly as you would expect. A passing down, you bring in the nickel package. Just as you described, the coverage was excellent and allowed one of their linemen to end up getting to the quarterback.
The Broncos send out their punter now. Christian Kirk deep to return it. Fielded just inside the 20. That'll be a 49-yard punt, 6 yards there on the return. And the Cards will take over, 1st and 10. So out come the Cardinals now for their opening drive. We get a glance at Josh Rosen, the rookie quarterback from UCLA, drafted 10th overall. He'll be the man under center.
When you think of some of the most successful quarterbacks in Arizona Cardinals history, you think of guys like Carson Palmer, Kurt Warner, Jake Plummer. But none of them began their career with the Cardinals. They would like to have their own homegrown guy. Could Josh Rosen be that guy? They drafted him number 10 in 2018. They're looking forward to watching him develop.
Here we go. Green, 39.
They'll look to throw on 1st down with Josh Rosen. And completes it to Kirk over the middle. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. And let's look now at the offensive starters for the Cardinals.
And how about wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald? Back for his 15th NFL season. This is not a ceremonial appearance. He had 109 catches last season. He will help the new quarterback of the Cardinals become better right away.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
A big welcome back carry for David Johnson, who almost missed all of last year. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain, but
Still
all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20.
Set. Green, 39. Green, 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a nice gain there as he'll be taken down just shy of the 20. Adam Jones, the longtime NFL corner, able to get him down. And a look now at how the Broncos line up defensively.
I saw Brandon Marshall play in college at Nevada, and what impressed me about his game was not just his ability to evade blocks, but his ability to also take them on, shed them, and get to ball carriers. Has a lot of toughness about him in his game.
So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime.
Set. Green, 39.
From the gun, it's Rosen. Looks for Nelson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the free safety, Darian Stewart. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Holding defense.
So they obviously decline that,
declined.
and it is a touchdown.
They still had the option, but let's face it.
There's no option.
There's no option when you score a touchdown. An easy call for them.
On here, Brandon McManus for the point after. Extra point from McManus is good, and it's now a 7-0 game. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Looking at what the Arizona Cardinals have done so far this year, Charles, not great. 0-4, the only winless team in the NFL. Now, the Josh Rosen era did begin last weekend against Seattle, but he couldn't quite lead him to a victory.
Yeah, it was his first career start. He had played a little bit in the previous game, but he's 15 of 27, 180 yards and a touchdown. Not super impressive stats, but not abysmal. After the game, his head coach Steve Wilks, when asked were there any bright spots in the game, immediately said Josh Rosen loved his poise, and I think they're very excited about what he can bring this team in the future.
Now let's go! Blue line it!
And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. On second down, Johnson. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Set! Green 39!
Here's the rookie from Fordham. It's Chase Edmonds. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
They run with Edmonds. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
On third down, Rosen. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. On 4th down, here's Andy Leon to kick it away. Back deep, Adam Jones. This is taken at the 15. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. Now the Broncos offense, they get set to head back onto the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Keenum going to lead the Broncos up now 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. And he'll get this one across the 20, but only up to about the 21. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. And the 11 defensive starters for Arizona.
And that means cornerback Patrick Peterson, who has an effect on every game he plays, whether it's at the cornerback position or even as a punt returner. How about this? He's been in the Pro Bowl all 7 seasons that he's been in the NFL. This guy knows how to change a game, either with an interception or a return.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
To throw is Keenum. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
Now that play will end up on the highlights and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Now he'll let it go deep over the middle. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by the veteran Antoine Bethea. And a great return as they're finally able to take him down. He was trying to hit Thomas that time.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
So out now come the Cardinals. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
After the interception, here's Rosen. Dumping it off for Johnson. And a nice little quick spin move before he's dropped. And a pretty good gain. Give him 9 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and short.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
Now let's go. Green, 39.
Now Rosen. Fitzgerald bringing it in over the middle. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
The first down carry here for Johnson. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They'll run it now out of the gun. He finds an opening past the 40 as he'll get this one up to the 44-yard line. And, Johnson dinged up a bit. Still down. Hopefully nothing serious. We'll check on his status when we get back. Now on the heels of that run by Johnson, here's another 1st and 10.
Set! Blue 90! Blue 90!
On the carry, it's Edmonds. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield after a gain of about 4.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Hey, you got three down. Hurry up, here we go.
And they'll throw it with Rosen. And this one complete to Jermaine Gresham. And he'll get it down here to the 43. His first catch, good for 8 and a 1st down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 43. Play action here with Rosen. Wide open receiver complete. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
Now Edmonds. He winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this 1st quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
All right, here we go. Green.
Here's Edmonds. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be 3rd and 10.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
They allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff them for a loss. It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9, and they need 10 yards out of it on 3rd.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Out of the gun, here's Josh Rosen. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on third down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
On to try the field goal now, Phil Dawson. This one from 48 yards away. And it is good. Oh, that one looked to be in trouble the whole way, but it does get over the bar. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
Now after the made field goal, here's Dawson back out now to send this one away on the kickoff. This is fielded at the goal line. And he will be taken down here as the first quarter of play will come to an end. 1 quarter in the books here on a Thursday night. 7-3 the score. Back to Glendale after this timeout.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back here with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. We've had the kickoff to begin the first quarter. Now it's time for the second quarter kickoff. And they've got it here with a first down. Keenum going to lead the Broncos up now 1st and 10. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. To throw on 2nd down is Keenum. The Cards get to him here. He's brought down for a sack. Hassan Reddick in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10.
So what's the word I'm looking for here about how this drive just started?
Disjointed?
I'll go with that one. I mean, think about it. First down, took a bad loss on a running play. Take the sack on 2nd down. Now they're going to come up with something big here on 3rd.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Working from the gun, Keenum. Looking long for Thomas. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Buda Baker with a pick. And he'll bring it all the way back, just a yard or 2 shy of midfield. Thomas, the intended target.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Josh Rosen and company getting set for their next possession. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown one interception. He wants to balance that off with at least one touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
So a good field position for the Cardinals as they come up 1st and 10.
Here we go now. Green 39.
Now a handoff looking right. And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. Derek Wolfe there on the tackle. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
They'll run with a former Tar Heel, T.J. Logan. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. The All-Pro Von Miller there on the tackle.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The Cardinals on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 4.
All right, here we go.
From the shotgun, it's Rosen. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Now Case Keenum and the offense heading back onto the field. He personally is playing poorly, but the bottom line is his team's winning. He probably feels, oh, hey, if I can right the ship, we can really extend this lead.
Just try and get back to being the player he knows he can be and continuing to be the leader that he has to be. Doesn't matter whether he's playing real well or not. When you're winning the game, everything's good. Really, you got to treat it like it's sunshine. Hey, everything's great. That's what he has continued to do, and I'm with you, though. He wants to play better to make sure he's a part of it.
He wants to flip those interceptions and touchdown numbers. 2 INTs, no touchdowns. And he'll push forward for about 4 up to the 23.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for 2nd down. And they'll run it here. Takes this to the 27. Give him 4 yards.
Back-to-back 4-yard runs. Now, look, if they just do that all the way downfield, ball ends up in the end zone, but that's a little difficult to do.
Yeah, I think now 3rd and 2, that defense ready to stiffen up and stop that run. The Broncos on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up 1st downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Play action. Now it's Keenum. Looking for Sanders here on the deep ball. That's caught at the 25. Keenum finding Sanders for a big one. 47 yards. Well, last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there's a quarterback in this league that's any good. that doesn't throw an interception occasionally, and they usually bounce back in a big way. I've seen guys throw 5 and still find a way to win the game in the end.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Here's Royce Freeman, the first carry for the rookie. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's the Pro Bowler Chandler Jones who makes the tackle.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Out of the gun, Keenum. Throwing right side, that's complete. Demaryius Thomas. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So on 4th down, on comes Brandon McManus and the field goal unit for the Broncos. And McManus able to put it through. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. This is T.J. Logan to return it. He'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Here comes Josh Rosen and the Cardinals offense back onto the field. He has not had the game that he envisioned. His team has not had the game that they've envisioned here. So how do they turn this around now?
Well, right now what he's looking forward to doing is finding a way to get the added weight on his back. Is it like that monkey that Steve Young was talking about? Remember that in the Super Bowl?
Oh, the 95 Super Bowl.
Right, when they beat the Chargers, and, you know, he had that weight of expectations and past greats on his back. In this case, it's just bad play. Can he shake it off and then be able to play loose and free and help his team out?
See if he can do just that. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13.
Hurry up, here we go.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. It's the linebacker, Brandon Marshall, there on the tackle.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
The Cardinals on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 11.
Now let's go. 3-19.
Here's Rosen. He's going to go for a big play field. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his second of the game. Instead, fourth down. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
And definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
Here's Andy Lee now as he's on to punt for Arizona. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. 12 yards on the return that time. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
He doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back. And that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. Keenum going to lead the Broncos up now, 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
And they'll go on the ground. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. At 5 yards on the play there, the drive will continue.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. And he gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And he will have a man, Demaryius Thomas. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the 1st. A Bronco 1st down. Keenum hooking up with Thomas.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Off play action. Keenum. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Marcus Golden in there to drop him for his 2nd sack now here tonight. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he might have got this across midfield, not by much. They'll mark it down at the 49. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on third down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
On third and long, it's Keenum. Oh, look at Thomas wide open. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing on first down is Keenum. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. From the gun, it's Keenum. Over the middle, it's Thomas. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Keenum now 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys at 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage back at the 17. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. As the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. And we are back here. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. So the offense takes the timeout. And now we're set to get going. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Here's Keenum now on 2nd down. And that's complete to the tight end, Hireman. And before they can run this 3rd down play, we're going to get a timeout. As the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play. The Broncos on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 8. From the gun, here's Keenum. He's got a man. It's Sutton that's complete. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. So another third down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. They'll look to run with Freeman. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. So the offensive unit called the TO, and now we are ready to resume play. From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. A shotgun snap for Keenum. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jamar Taylor. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue, landed.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he's going to be unable to get upfield as they take him down at the 21-yard line. So we come upon halftime with the visiting Broncos taking the lead to the locker room. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. We want to remind you that new this year in regular season games, I'll take you around the NFL and give you stats and scores from games in progress, as well as look back at games that have already been completed. So keep an eye out for that. But for now, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. Rosen and the Cardinals take over with a 1st and 10. And they start the second half with Johnson. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
They go to Johnson again. And that one blown up quickly. as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
The Cardinals on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 9.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
Rosen off the play action. He's going to wind up and air it out. Try to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
And they'll run it here. And an alley to run. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19.
And that run was what a lot of people call an explosive run. Gave them good yardage, solid yardage. They feel good about the whole thing, and they did it behind a 2 tight end set. And it's always interesting to watch what offenses want to do with the 2 tight ends. Sometimes they line them up together for a power set. Sometimes they put one on each side of the line of scrimmage to balance things out. No matter what, though, when you see 2 tight ends on the field, your first thought is to think run. In this case, the offense was able to run successfully.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now Keenum throwing on 2nd. And the pressure will bring him down here. The Cardinals get home for the sack. Corey Peters coming up the middle, gets him there for a loss of about 9.
We are seeing 2 really confident defenses imposing their will on these offenses in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, going toe for toe. Just curious if one of these offenses can wake up a little bit.
Is there any way they can find something that can pop, something big to knock them back on their heels?
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This is 3rd and 14. They fake the handoff. Now Keenum. And that is incomplete.
Well, he bounced up after taking a sack and took a shot downfield. I think a lot of us thought maybe he'd run draw in that situation instead. Tried to get it all back in one play.
Yeah, 3rd and long. Thought he needed the deep pass. Couldn't connect it.
Maybe he was hoping for a penalty downfield to give him the yardage they needed.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is taken around the 12. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And out will come the offense as they take over. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
They begin the drive with Johnson. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The rush defense stout on first down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Now let's go.
On second down, here's Rosen. And that's incomplete. Larry Fitzgerald was the intended target. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball. And we see yet another errant throw as a result.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Set. Green, 39.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here's Andy Lee now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. Here's Jones. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And coming out now, the Broncos. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Keenum going to lead the Broncos up now 1st and 10. They'll run with Freeman here to begin the drive. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, he had 2 sacks earlier. Now he has 4 total tackles for a loss after that play.
Well, they obviously have to do a better job trying to block him. But short of that, you know what the quarterback has to do? Make sure he doesn't hand it to him when he's back there thinking he's one of his own guys. His quickness, his suddenness, his speed getting into the offense's backfield has been something else in this game.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Keenum to throw on 2nd down. And he hits his man on the out route, Demaryius Thomas. And he's able to get up here to the 26. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
The Broncos on 3rd down, 5 out of 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Shotgun snap for Keenum. Over the middle, complete. It's Lindsey. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. That one good for 13 and a Denver 1st down.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
Keenum now 13 out of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a 1st down. To throw, it's Keenum. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another 1st. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10 at the 47. Again, they'll throw with Keenum. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Keenum again. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. Give him 8 on the play, and just like that, it's 3rd down. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down. A nice safe throw and a good one.
On 3rd down, it's Freeman. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
So on now is Brandon McManus. He has hit from as far away as 57, but that was in Denver. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Rosen and the Cardinals take over with a 1st and 10. They'll try to get the offense going with Johnson. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. Tackled by Bradley Chubb, the number 5 pick in the 2018 draft.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Again, it's Johnson. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
Set. Green 39! Green 39!
On 3rd down, Rosen. He's going to look deep down the field. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
What has not been the best game for him, but he definitely tried to get by with a little help from his friend there, trying to create a big play.
Couldn't do it, fell incomplete. But you're right, hasn't been a banner game here in the second half, just trying to get going.
Big thing is trying to keep confidence up and continue to fire.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And Denver getting set to take the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Yeah, get a little closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
And movement by one of the Broncos up front, and in comes the flag.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still first down.
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. After the penalty, here's Freeman. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. A nice move gets him a few extra. Down just shy of his 20. 8 yards here, so that gets him back within striking distance. And now it's 3rd down.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've converted 6 times and could use a 7th here. This is 3rd and 9. To throw is Keenum. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this will be caught at the 30. It's a big play. Keenum to Thomas. 53 yards. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory?
So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
Well, think of it like you would a typical boxing match. The person that's on his heels and absorbing blows is having a tough time. And that's what's happening to the defense right now because the offense is on his toes and punching. And there was another 1st down run right there.
Back to the ground, this time with Freeman. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
Here they come, here they come, here they come. On.
Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
They've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Denver. A great play there. Taking it in from 2 yards out, and the Broncos will add on to their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this 3rd quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
McManus now for the extra point. McManus's point after is good, and the lead is now 17-3. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told, and it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. Now McManus on to kick this one off. This is fielded a couple yards deep. A beautiful fake. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that. Rosen and the Cardinals take over with a 1st and 10.
Now let's go! 3-19! 3-19!
And we've got movement by one of the big boys up front for Arizona. Flag comes in.
False start, offense.
Expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
All right, here we go. 3-19!
Following the penalty, it's Johnson. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. A good comeback there after the penalty, 9 yards, and it's 2nd and 6.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up the score.
Set! Blue 90! Blue 90!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. The Pro Bowler Chris Harris is in on the tackle.
Run! Run! Run!
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
All right, here we go. Green 39! Green 39!
From the gun on third down, it's Rosen. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
I would dare say that these guys would have liked to have given their defense a little bit more rest since they gave up a touchdown their last time out. But alas, my man, that's not going to happen.
Yep, they're going to have to grab those helmets, get right back out there. Here's Andy Lee now, as he'll come on to kick for a sixth time tonight. Now a handoff. It's Freeman. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back at New Paltz, Mrs. Bima Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. From his goal line here, Keenum able to shake him off. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down.
They certainly thought they had him surrounded and probably thought they were going to get him on the ground and get the sack, but he was able to elude that. And even though it threw it incomplete downfield, if you're a defensive back, you're loving the pressure that you're seeing from your front.
They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on third down. Now a handoff to the fullback, Janovich. And he is going to have the first down as he's up to his own 13-yard line. They get 9 there, and in the process, escaping their end zone, picking up a first down. This is where, fourth quarter, you got the lead, you give it to the big guy. Defensively kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
Well, you say that with accusatory tones. I mean, but you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering where they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. Tackle made there by Josh Bynes. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a third and about 5.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
An extra DB added here for the Cards on third.
Blitzer play coverage.
Working from the gun, Keenum. Got a man, he finds Sanders. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. A gain of 19 and picking up the first. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Keenum. Sanders has it over the middle. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
So 2nd and inches after that 1st down completion went just shy of the marker. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10 at the 47. Here's Keenum to throw. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only the DB's going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. On play action, now Keenum. He's going to air one out. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd. This drive, which was going so smoothly, all of a sudden it's a little bit of a roadblock here with 2 straight incompletions.
Yeah, apparently this defense has had enough. Apparently they're saying no more. We're making a stand right here, right now. But it is 3rd and 10. They've got to get after him one more time.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Out of the gun, Keenum. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Buda Baker with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. 2-score game here in the 4th, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on it and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
The Cardinal offense now making their way back out onto the field. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Rosen and the Cardinals take over with a 1st and 10.
Here we go.
Now a handoff, Johnson. And not much there as he gets it up to about the 5-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
That first down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room. If you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
Yeah, didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage. Now Rosen to throw on 2nd down. Fitzgerald bringing it in over the middle. And they'll bring him down right around the 13. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
On 3rd and 1, Rosen, and that is incomplete. It was Darian Stewart that time who was able to knock the pass away.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
Here's Andy Lee now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. Jones on the return. So possession goes over here on the punt. The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Good starting position for the Broncos here as they come up 1st and 10. This is Freeman. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the 4th quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production. But how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number of the offensive line and the other guys because they're getting to him before he can get started.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, here's Keenum. He's got his man on the crossing route. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. And a nice gain of 21 yards. They were in zone defensively, went with a crossing route. It's always interesting to watch that chess match.
Yeah, and I think safeties don't mind crossing routes against zone because eventually you're going to run into their territory. And that's when they lick their chops in order to get the big hit or a play on the ball.
Offensively, nice execution to find a hole, make the catch. And they'll go on the ground. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
On 2nd down, here's Keenum. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Emmanuel Sanders, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is 3rd down. From the gun, it's Keenum. And he finds a man on a crossing route. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 18 big yards on that one and a Denver first. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
From the red zone now, Keenum. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by the veteran Antoine Bethea. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. The 20. 10. And they will score. It's a pick six for the Cardinals touchdown. Well, don't change that channel just yet. This one may have gotten a bit more interesting.
Put down the remote, put down the clicker. This one looked like it was over. It looked like they were ready to seal the deal. But in doing so, by pitching it around a little bit, it cost them. We could have a great finish.
Here's Phil Dawson now for the point after. Dawson able to connect on the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And on the return, here comes Adam Jones. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Another drive getting ready to start here for Demaryius Thomas. Let's see here, Charles. 6 catches, over 100 yards. Call that a pretty good day at the office.
And I love the accumulation, the catches, the yardage. That means he's having a pretty good impact on this ball game and really helping his team out in a big way.
Means he wants the football again, right?
And it's funny because some of these receivers are very vocal about how much they're getting it. Others are quieter, but they still let you know, give me the ball, I'm going to make a play.
Keenum going to lead the Broncos up now 1st and 10. And now a 10th carry for Freeman. And he'll be brought down here at the 28. Tackle made by Marcus Golden.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. To throw on 2nd down is Keenum. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
As tight ends go, he might not provide the super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable. Usually an excellent target, and normally catches what's thrown to him, but he didn't on that play.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Back to throw, Keenum. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's Freeman. And he'll get 2, maybe 3, up near the 37. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Off the play fake, Keenum. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Sanders. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A very solid gain of 27. This is something you got to be wary of defensively. I mean, just because they're in the mode of trying to burn some clock doesn't mean they won't pass it, and they got good yardage out of that one.
Yeah, and really, when you're looking at it, now they've got a fresh set of downs. Look for 2nd down. If they want to take another shot and try and loosen things up, that'd be the time to do it.
So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10 at the 36. Now a play fake, and it's Keenum. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but for the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne to try and knock one away, it's difficult because you can't reach out and grab him. That'll be a holding penalty. So all you're trying to do is make some type of a play on him, make some type of contact to try and get his arms out of the sky.
Over the middle, complete. That's Lindsey. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Give him 14 yards there and a Denver 1st down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And 10. Here's Keenum. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up 1st and goal.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
First seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. And they'll bootleg it here with Keenum. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal.
Set! Green 39! Green 39!
And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. And caught by Sanders. Touchdown Broncos. Emmanuel Sanders, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Broncos will extend their lead.
Well, that was absolutely ideal for them, wasn't it? Trying to salt this game away. I think one of my kids just graduated in the amount of time they had the football. That was absolutely impressive.
Everybody wants those salt away the game drives. What makes them successful?
Well, when you're able to mix run-pass, when you're able to control the football and stay ahead of the chains, I'm using every cliche I know, but that's how you get it done because you're not taking negative plays, and that way you're able to run what you want to run when you get a chance to call it.
Extra point from McManus is good, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. A pretty long drive that time, 11 plays all told, and it culminates in a touchdown by the Broncos. Now McManus on to kick this one off. With it on the return, it's Logan. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And now let's look at David Johnson. And we have seen a decline in the numbers. Where does the fault lie? Just him? Maybe the guys up front? Combination?
Well, as you and I both know, it's almost always a collective deal. But in this case, I think maybe the offensive line got a little overconfident. They had blocked so well in the first half, picked up on what the defense was doing. I think we've seen an adjustment now that they have not picked up on, and now they're being a little bit overwhelmed.
Rosen and the Cardinals take over with a 1st and 10.
Here we go now. Blue line.
They'll look to throw on 1st down with Josh Rosen. Open man is Kirk, complete. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Let's go, fellas. We got 4 down. Let's go.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So the Cardinals, they've got the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
On 2nd down, Rosen. This one complete to Gresham. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. On 1st down, it's Rosen. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Rosen on 1st down. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Adam Jones. And the return will stop right around the 25. And maybe he telegraphed it a little bit right there. You've got a cornerback knowing that he's going against a rookie quarterback. He stepped in and picked it.
You think he had a great week of preparation, looking forward to this opportunity? And the second part of that is, when you're a young quarterback, you are going to stare down targets, but oftentimes your playbook hasn't expanded to give you full field reads as well. Makes it a little bit tougher for him.
Here's Emmanuel Sanders now as he and the rest of the offense march back onto the field. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
Now let's go.
And they'll run it here. And an alley to run. And they're able to get this one across the 35. And now here's a timeout defensively coming from the Cardinals. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Right back to him on first down. And now the Cardinals are going to use another timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing.
Hurry up, here we go.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Third down. It's Lindsey. And he's not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. That'll make it fourth down after a loss of 1. Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it, the vision that he's had running the football has carried his feet to the open spaces and to big yardage all night long.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The Cardinal offense here ready to take over. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, and what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. Rosen and the Cardinals take over with a 1st and 10.
Now let's go.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
They'll try again from the 20 on 2nd and 10. Second and 10 now. It's Rosen. And Gresham has it left side. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. And he'll spike it with 16 seconds remaining. And that one is incomplete. It stops the clock now with 15 seconds remaining. Rosen to throw again. And that one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football here. Nearly a 4th pick. And it's 3rd down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. The Cardinals on third down. An almost unimaginable 0 for 10 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
Now let's go. Green, 39. Green.
Throwing again, it's Rosen. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Adam Jones. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. That's an experienced DB picking off a rookie, and you know sometimes those experienced DBs, they love going against the young pups, don't they?
And I go back to the offseason, had a quick conversation with him about, hey, when you play younger quarterbacks, what's it like for you? And he says it's like being a boxer. I give him a lot of different angles, a lot of different looks, and a lot of times I just bait the young guy.
And there he baited him right into the interception. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Set. 3-19.
The win for the Broncos seemingly assured. They go down to a knee. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. Good night, everybody.